Hey you guys, this is Anne Marie, Ball Girl Will Travel. Welcome to my channel. I'm the creator and founder of ballgirlwilltravel.com as well as the related blog, and I am the founder of the Fly 40 Plus Black Women Solo Travels group on Facebook. So if you haven't joined our group, get on Facebook and do that right away. The link will be in the description. I'm on a mission to make solo travel accessible and fun for Black women over 40. I want us to embrace solo travel as self-care, and I want to dispel the myth that you can't be fashionable and comfortable while you travel solo and travel light like I do. Team Carry On. If that's of interest to you, please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell a friend. So today what we're going to talk about is 12 tips for making long haul flights more comfortable. This is top of mind for me right now because I will be traveling to Africa in early 2023. And anyone that knows me knows that I plan very early for my trips. I book them early to take advantage of good fares, and I start my planning process pretty early out. And I have pretty, constant things that I do for travel, and I really think through what I want to do, especially for long haul flights. And for me, a long haul flight is any flight that's going to be 7 hours or longer. And Africa is going to be a total of probably about 9 to 10 hours for me to get there. I am going to be flying to West Africa first and then to East Africa. So I've been thinking a lot about what I need to do to start getting ready for that. And so I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I think you should think about doing when you're preparing and when you're doing a long haul flight. I have 12 tips. And so I'm going to start with tip number 1. And tip number 1 is, if you can, get a low-cost economy ticket and then upgrade to economy premium or business class. Well, there are a couple ways that you can do that. First of all is you can just go on your airline's website and upgrade to economy premium. It's usually not going to be that expensive if you do it before the date of the flight. If you're flying on a U.S. flag airline, I would highly recommend that you purchase before the day of the flight if you're going to upgrade to economy premium. Now, if you're flying on a non-U.S. flag carrier, which is what I will be doing to Africa, one of the things you can look into is whether the airline has a, a auction process. And you can bid on upgrading your seat to business class. This is not economy premium. If you're going to upgrade to economy premium, you're probably going to have to go just online to the website and pay a little bit extra to get an economy premium seat, which will give you a little bit more leg room. It's usually the first set of seats right after business class, and they have more leg room. But if you want to fly business class, which will allow you to get a lay flat bed and really sleep and relax during the flight, as well as the food perks and drinks, which are less important to me, then you might want to look at whether you can get into an auction that many of the carriers will offer, and they'll send you an email, or you can call them and ask whether they have an auction process. And what they will do is, if they have extra seats that they haven't sold, they'll allow you to bid on those seats, like basically make an offer, and they'll either reject the offer or they'll accept the offer. So for example, I've got a low cost ticket to go to Portugal this past spring. And what I did was, when TAP Portugal Airlines sent me an email about the auction, I offered $500 to upgrade to business class, and they accepted it. I know people who have gotten upgrades for as low as $250 to $300. So offer whatever it is that you can afford to pay that you think is reasonable, and you may get it. If they're not selling those seats and they want to get rid of it, they may take your offer even if it's as low as $250 to $300. So it's definitely worth doing. I've also upgraded on Turkish Airlines once, flying from New Zealand to Bali, which was a 7-hour flight. I was able to upgrade that flight using an auction option as well. So don't, sleep on that. Look and see if you have that option and then exercise it. Another thing you can do is the day of the flight, try to get to the airport super early, like at least 3 hours ahead, and wait for the ticket counter to open. Walk up there, be very polite, dress nicely. It helps. and ask them if they have any business class seats left and ask what they will cost. A lot of times they'll offer you a cheaper rate on that day for business class. It usually doesn't work as well for economy because often those are sold out by the date of the flight, but you can still ask. So it's definitely worth doing if you care about having extra comfort during your flight and you'd rather upgrade from economy. So that's number one. The second thing I recommend that you do is get and use a ventilated mask or a K95 mask. COVID is still with us, and even if it is on its way out by next January, we can only hope, there's still lots of germs floating around on the plane. I had started wearing a face mask even before COVID, but I was using a ventilated mask. And so I would recommend getting a ventilated mask or just wearing a K95 mask on the flight. I like to use my respirator mask from Castle Grade, and I'll show you what it looks like. I like to use this mask because this is what it looks like, because it is more comfortable than a K95 and I can wear it. It doesn't fog out my glasses. And I have filters that it allows me to use. And yes, it will protect you against COVID, but you can also just use a K95 mask, which is the standard mask, and make sure you have something to protect you during the flight from all the germs that are flying around in the recirculated air. Number 3 is get a good neck pillow. There is nothing worse, to me at least, than getting off of a flight and having neck pain for the rest of the day because it was so uncomfortable and I didn't have a neck pillow or I didn't have a good neck pillow. So I'm going to share with you the 2 neck pillows that I really like to use. One is from Travel Rest. I had this one for a while, and the way that it works is basically you open it up. There's a little hole here. You open it up. You blow this air into this hole till it puffs up, right? And then you're able to attach it to the seat or to your person, and you can lay this way on the pillow. It's actually quite comfortable. And I like to use this one for shorter flights. So if I'm doing a flight, say, to Europe, which is usually 7 to 8 hours from an American airport, I'll bring this with me and I will use it on my flight to get some rest. Now, if I'm going on a really long flight, which is what Africa will be, I'm going to use my turtle pillow, and I'm going to show that to you in a minute. I like my turtle pillow for longer flights because I feel like I get better neck support with it than with this one. But I do get good rest with both of them. So I'm going to show you my turtle. This is my turtle pillow, right? I really like this pillow a lot. And links to everything that I'm showing you will be in the description. So if you're interested in getting one of your own, you can do that. But it has like a Velcro wrap, and it looks like this. And basically, you just put it around your neck like this. It's not very sexy, but it definitely works. So you put it around your neck like this, and you can either go to sleep like this, or you can move it around like this, and you can lay like that. I have to tell you, it's the best sleep I've ever got. If you, on a plane, if you do this, of course, on a plane in economy, not business class. The best sleep you're going to get on a plane is if you're in business class and you got a good lay flat bed, right? But in economy, this is the best sleep that I've gotten. So again, if you are going to do a long flight of 8 hours or more, this is the pillow that I recommend, combined with number 4, which is always select a window seat if you can, right? So if you have one of these pillows combined with being able to lean next to the window, you're going to get some good sleep on the flight, right? Now, if you just have a window to lean on with no pillow, you're going to still have some neck pain, but at least you will probably be able to go to sleep better than if you're in a center seat or the aisle, which I don't like the aisle because the airline flight attendants are walking back and forth. Every time you start to fall asleep, they bump you and wake you up. It's great to be in an aisle seat only because it's the closest to the bathroom. But besides that, I really don't like to sit on an aisle seat because I never get good sleep if I'm on an aisle seat, because it is constant movement on the plane, because the flight attendants have to do their job. They got to push those carts through there. They got to talk to other people. And so you're going to be getting bumped and disturbed if you're trying to sleep. And on a long haul flight, you really want to get some sleep, and it's going to be very difficult to do that if you're sitting in the aisle. So I always prefer to get a window seat, and that means I will book my flight at the lowest rate I can, and then I will pay for a window seat in the best aisle I can find, so that I am close enough to a bathroom but not right near the bathroom, because then again, you've got to deal with people walking back and forth for the entire flight. And I also like to make sure I have good leg room, so if I can snatch one of those seats in economy premium, that's where I'm going to be sitting, and I'm going to sit at a window seat. So let's talk about tip number 5. And this one may be a little controversial, I guess, depending on your point of view, but to me, it's a no-brainer. Tip number 5 is recline your seat. Recline that bad boy that you paid for as soon as the airplane pilot says that it's okay for you to do so. Get yourself comfortable. You're going to be on that plane for a while. So recline your seat and get comfortable in your seat. Now, usually when it's time for meals, I will pull my seat up right so that the person behind me can also, be comfortable to eat their meal. But as soon as mealtime is over and I'm ready to go to sleep, I put that seat back and recline so that I can get my pillow together, lean my head where I need to lean my head, put in my other items that I'm going to get to in a minute, and get some rest. I try to sleep for at least half of the flight time of the flight. So getting comfortable is very important to me. So if I'm going to be on a flight for 12 hours, I try to sleep for 6 hours. If I'm going to be on a flight for 14 hours, I try to sleep for 7 hours, and so on. That's kind of my rule of thumb. And we'll get to what I do in the other parts of the flight in a minute. So again, number 5, recline your seat. Number 6, bring along some ankle socks. And I like to wear compression ankle socks. So bring some ankle socks when you get in your seat, especially if you're wearing like sneakers, which is what I'm usually wearing. I will take my sneakers off and I will put on my ankle socks. I don't really like to wear socks with sneakers, so I usually bring the socks along with me and I put them on. If you go into business class, this will be moot because they will give you a nice little pack and they'll give you some socks and they'll give you an eye mask as well, which I'll get to. But if you're not going to be in business class and you're not sure whether you're going to get to upgrade, I would still say bring your own. So I always bring a pair of ankle socks. Why? Because again, it makes me more comfortable. So the planes can be very cold, and if my feet are cold, I'm not going to be able to get comfortable and go to sleep. So I will always bring a pair of ankle socks with me, right? And if I have to get up to walk to the bathroom or anything like that, sometimes I will just wear the ankle socks, because the ones I wear are pretty thick and padded on the bottom. They're compression socks. And when the flight is over, I take them off, I put them in a small Ziploc plastic bag, and I will get them washed when I get to where I am staying. But I always bring a pair of ankle socks, comfortable ankle socks, along with me. Number 7, invest in a pair of really good quality earplugs and an eye mask. This will also help you in getting comfortable on your flight. I always bring a pair of high fidelity earplugs. They're concert grade, basically the kinds of earplugs that musicians wear and orchestra people wear when they're playing in concerts, so that they don't damage their eardrums from the noise. I usually bring a pair of those and I pop them in my ear when I'm ready to go to sleep. I'll show you the ones that I have, right? They look like this, and I usually just clip them to my carry-on bag because it comes with a little clip, and they really are great quality earplugs. And I just open it up when I'm ready to get on the plane, and I pull it out and I pop it in my ear, right? This one comes with 4, so I have these, right? And then I also bring earplugs, right? And I really like a particular type of not earplugs, eye mask. I also bring an eye mask with me along with the earplugs. Now, I have one that I really love that I have misplaced and I don't know where it is, but it's by Bedtime Bliss. I bought it on Amazon, so I'll put a link to that one. Right now I'm using this one, which I actually received on a business class flight. It's good, but it's not as good as the one that I used to use, which was one that's like molds right over your eyes, under your eyes, and it really blocks everything out. This one is good, but it's not great. So I'm probably going to get another pair of the molded ones that I use, but this one is in a little bag. I keep it in a little bag here. And I also keep a set of backup, which I'll show you, backup earplugs with me as well. Because earplugs are something that you really want to have all throughout pretty much any travel that you do, because you don't know whether you're going to end up with a hotel with thin walls. You're going to end up with an Airbnb with thin walls and listen to people's dogs barking and people having sex. I've experienced it all on travel. So you want to make sure that you have good earplugs. And earplugs can fall out your ears, they can get lost. So I always bring backup ones just in case I lose any of the ones that are my preferred earplugs. But my preferred earplugs really are the ones that I just showed you, which are these concert high fidelity earplugs. And of course, like I said, I'll drop the links for all of these in the description so you can check them out. But these are my favorites so far. I've been lucky not to lose any of these. I only wear these on flights. And then the others I will use if I'm at an Airbnb or a hotel where I need to go to sleep and there's noise. I'll use the other ones. But these are the ones I use for my flight. And I keep them clipped to my carry-on bag, right? So number 8 is invest in some good noise canceling earphones, right? Headphones. Now, I don't sleep for the entire flight, and I'll get to why in a minute. So when I'm on the plane, I like to make sure that I have good earphones so that I can have other entertainment. These are the ones that I swear by. They're by Bose. They are expensive. They were investment purchase for me. I bought them during a Black Friday sale so I could get them for the lowest price possible. Because while I'm a person who would not blink at a certain point in my life at buying a $300 pair of shoes, I felt a type of way about paying $200+ for some headphones. Don't ask, it is what it is. But I did buy them and they're worth every single penny. I don't like to sleep in them because I worry that I will damage them, which is why I wear earphones. But when you're on the plane, you don't want to have to be listening to people's children. You don't want to have to be hearing people's conversations behind you. So even if I'm not sleeping, I keep these noise canceling headphones on. There are another pair that I had before I bought these that also were good. Not as good as these, but good. And so I will drop a link to those as well because they're not as good as these. They were decent, but they weren't Bose. And it's hard to understand till you get one of these. You really understand how good they are, and they're worth every penny. And I'm glad that I bought them. But I don't recommend sleeping in them because I wouldn't want to damage minds. And you can damage them if you lean the wrong way with them on. So I don't sleep with mine on, but I do always bring them with me. The other thing I always do before a flight is I download my favorite magazine, the latest version of my favorite magazine, which is Vanity Fair magazine. I love it. I have it on my iPad, which I always travel with, my iPad mini. I download it on there. I also make sure I have versions, the latest of my favorite podcasts. If there's an audiobook that I want to read, I make sure that it's downloaded onto my iPhone or my iPad so that I can listen to it in flight. I also download movies from Netflix, right? If you have a Netflix subscription, you can download movies onto your iPad or phone and watch them in flight. For example, I watched the last 4 episodes of the final season of Ozarks on a flight from, I think I was flying from Mexico to Houston, right? So you can do that. And it wasn't from Mexico to Houston. I think it was my flight from Houston to Trinidad and Tobago. So I had time to kill. And so I watched those 4 hours of Ozarks, and the time went by really fast. So I really do recommend not just having good noise canceling, but planning for your own entertainment, because you might not like the movie offerings on the plane, right? You might not want to watch what they offer, right? And some planes now, some airlines want to charge you extra. If you do one of those economy airlines, they want to charge you extra just to even access the movies. So I recommend downloading your own entertainment so you don't have to pay extra for that kind of stuff. And then you don't have to buy, Wi-Fi or anything like that to download anything ahead of time. Just do that the day before, a couple days before. Download your favorite TV shows or movies that you want to see that you haven't gotten to watch yet. Download a book that you want to read if you have a membership to Amazon's subscription where you can download books and so on. Or download book on Kindle, which is also an app you can have on your iPhone or iPad. And just prepare. Get your favorite podcast. I love Ratchet and Respectable with Demetria Lucas. So I always make sure that I have her most recent podcast for me to listen to on airplanes. That's just my option. I also like to listen to Kevin Hart's Comedy Gold Mines series. So I'll download those things. And if I know I'm going to travel, sometimes I won't listen to the podcast for that week so that I can listen to it on my flight. So those are some things that I do also relevant to entertainment for long haul flights. Now we're going to get to the really important things. We've done number 8, which is noise canceling headphones, and we've just talked about number 9, which is bringing your own entertainment, right? Now we're going to talk about number 10, which is one of the most important things, so I saved it for last. Drink a lot of water. Starting the day before you're going to travel, up your water intake. If you drink 8 glasses a day, try to get to 12, right? Start drinking lots of water. Instead of hanging out at the bar and drinking ahead of your flight, drink some water. I suggest bringing a refillable bottle so that you don't have to buy bottled water on the airplane, and fill it up with water after your security check and drink water. I really like the Life Straw bottle. I love things that I can clip to my bag and it has a clip. The great thing about this bottle is if you're going to a country or a continent where access to clean water is not always consistent, having one of these is great because it has a filter in it that filters out pretty much every impurity you can think of. So you can carry this with you, fill it up with water, and have the water with you if you're going out on safari or if you're going out to other places like that. I also bought a backup filter for it, and you can get all of these on Amazon. And I'm going to travel with that when I go to Africa. I'm going to be carrying this bottle with me and with the filter. But you also can fill this up when you get through security and just have water with you to drink instead of buying bottled water at the airport, which is very expensive. So I would say if there's a water fountain at the airport, get you a Life Straw, fill it up. It'll filter the water. Drink your water that way. But drink a lot of water. When you get on the plane and the flight attendant asks what you want to drink, don't go for Coke Zero, which is what I usually like to drink, but instead get water. Try to avoid drinking alcohol. It is not the best thing to be drinking on the plane, and the best thing for you is to drink water, right? If you're going to have a drink, have one, but try to drink water. Why? One, flying airplanes is extremely dehydrating for your skin. It's just not good. So drinking a lot of water will keep you and your skin hydrated. The other thing is when you drink a lot of water, it makes you want to do what? Go to the bathroom. That brings us to number 11. It is very important that you move your body in flight. You want to be moving at least every 2 to 3 hours. You want to get up and walk. I usually walk from my seat to the bathroom, which is why I don't like to walk too close to the bathroom. If I am near the front, I'll go to the closest bathroom. If I'm closer to the back, I go to the bathroom all the way to the back, right? And then I'll cross over and walk all the way back down. And I will stand up and walk in place while I'm waiting to go to the bathroom. I'll be moving my body, moving my legs. Why? Because if you sit too long, you're at high risk to get a blood clot. And blood clots kill people because a lot of times you don't realize you have a problem until it's too late. So it's a very important thing to do is to get up and move. And if you drink a lot of water, you're going to have to move because you're going to need to go to the bathroom. So this is another reason why I highly recommend drinking lots of water just before you get on the plane. Drinking water, go to the bathroom before you get on the plane. Then when you get on the plane, start drinking water again, so that every couple hours you want to be getting up and moving your body. When you're sitting on the plane, you want to be moving your feet up and down if you can. Moving your feet up and down, move your body, move your feet, because you want to keep that blood circulating properly to help you avoid blood clots. Number 12, which is the last tip on this list, is in addition to doing all the other things I mentioned, make sure you wear some type of compression garment. Either compression leggings, which I swear by, and I'll drop a link to my favorite one in the description. I almost always wear these leggings when I am traveling on a flight that's going to be 8 hours or more. And also compression socks, which I mentioned, the ankle socks. Wear compression socks on your feet, but wear compression leggings on your whole lower body. These things will really help you with your blood circulation and ensuring that you do all you can to avoid throwing a blood clot because of a long haul flight where you just sat in one place for the whole time and slept and didn't get up, didn't go to the bathroom except once or twice, and didn't move around. So these things are very important. There are lots of other things that I am going to, well, not a lot, but a couple other things that I would also recommend. Honorable mention is bring your own blanket. I always bring a shawl with me on flights. I don't really like to use the airplane blanket unless I'm in business class. I really like to bring my own, but they do take up space. So sometimes what I do instead is I have a really nice shawl that is very warm and soft, and I'll leave a link in the description. I almost never travel without it. And so I will bring that with me in my carry-on or my personal bag, my tote bag. And I usually will throw that over my legs to keep my legs warm, or I'll throw it over my shoulders because sometimes the planes can be cold, because I really don't like to use the airplane issued blanket. So that's kind of an honorable mention thing that I also often do, especially for long haul flights. But almost always I bring a shawl with me, whether it's a 2-hour flight, 3-hour flight, 6-hour flight, 12-hour flight. I always bring a shawl. And I bring it with me and I use it instead of the blanket. So those are my 12 tips for ensuring comfort and well-being on a long haul flight. I hope that this was helpful. I hope you learned something useful. I will drop links to the items that I mentioned in the description. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more information like this, please like, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.